Madam Speaker, you have responded to the Leader of the Opposition.
Member for Couva North and member for Chaguanas East. The announcement has been made, which has provided, I hope, the requisite clarification and guidance.
Madam Speaker, can you advise if May's parliamentary practice still governs this House?
Madam Speaker,
still guides?
Madam Speaker, what was read there is not an announcement. It's a statement by the Speaker. And if the standing orders are to be...
Can we proceed?
Madam Speaker, please.
Motion
Madam
pursuant to Section 36 of the Constitution.
Madam Speaker, assured by yourself.
Member for
that
Caroni
after the-
Central. Member for Caroni Central.
After
Please,
the-
member for Caroni Central, please take your seat.
Madam Speaker,
Honourable members, on Thursday, October 14, 2021, the Leader of the Opposition and member for Superior filed a motion with the Office of the Speaker pursuant to Section 36(1)(a) of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Section 36(1)(a) states, the President shall be removed from office where a motion that his removal from office should be investigated by a tribunal is proposed in the House of Representatives. I now call upon the member for Superior to propose the motion pursuant to Section 36(1)(a). Leader of the Opposition and member for Superior.
Madam Speaker, just for clarification, you have announced that the Leader of Opposition would be allowed to read her motion. Can you indicate to us if we will have a debate and explanation as we have been asking all morning?
Member for St. Augustine, again, you are another seasoned parliamentarian. I haven't recognized you. I've called on the member for Superior. The guidelines which have been circulated since Tuesday are quite clear, and the announcement was intended to give the clarification which you seek. Member for Superior.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to participate in these Section 36 proceedings under the guidelines unilaterally formulated by your good self.
Member.
Unilateral.
These guidelines seem to have forgotten the origin of the word parliament.
Member.
They come from the word
Member. Member, I'm on my legs.
Why are we muting the Leader of the Opposition microphone?
Member for Superior, would you kindly propose your motion in the text of your motion?
Well, if you put my mic on, I will continue so to do. Is this mic now on? Thank you very much, Madam. I'm saying these guidelines done by your good self forgets the word parliament, comes from the word parler, to allow for debate. And before I read the motion, I want to say these guidelines are illegal, null and void. Illegal. We participate in these proceedings, the opposition participates in these proceedings under protest. I want to make that very clear. The Section 36 motion, Madam, reading the procedure that you have provided to us, again unilaterally, I will turn to it now. And I read that motion. Whereas Section 35 of the Constitution provides that the President may be removed under Section 36 from office where she, A, willfully violates any provision of the Constitution, and or B, behaves in such a way as to bring her office into hatred, ridicule, or contempt. And or C, behaves in a way that endangers the security of the state. And whereas there have been unrefuted reports, A, of recent events at President's House, of interference in the selection processes undertaken by the Police Service Commission. And B, that a list of nominees for the Commissioner of Police prepared by the Police Service Commission was recently submitted to the President, and the President refused to notify the House of these nominees. And whereas the President has neglected to publicly address those reports and has otherwise failed to faithfully execute her several duties under the Constitution. And whereas, in the circumstances, the President should be removed from office since she, A, willfully violated the provisions of the Constitution securing the independence of the Police Service Commission in the performance of its functions, and also willfully violated Section 123 of the Constitution. B, behaved in such a way as to bring her office into hatred, ridicule, or contempt, and or facilitating interference with the Police Service Commission. And also by proceeding in the circumstances to appoint new members of this Police Service Commission. C, behaved in a way that has resulted in the endangerment of the security of the state through her inactions and failure and or neglect to act. And D has otherwise failed and or neglected to execute her duties under the Constitution. Be it now resolved that pursuant to Section 36 of the Constitution, a tribunal be established to investigate the removal of Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, from the office of the President. Madam Speaker, I thank you, and I just want to
Honourable
raise
members.
under Section 2.
Honourable members, Section 36, 1B of the Constitution states, B, the motion states,
Madam Speaker, why are you muting the leader?
Is it an attempt to silence the opposition?
Is the leader of opposition being muted?
Madam Speaker, is democracy dead in this parliament?
it appears that
Madam
today-
Speaker, why are you muting the opposition
appears
leader?
today that members forget that they are in the House of the Representatives. When they speak,
That is why we have to stand up
when they
here and
speak to
represent
the
the people of
chair,
this
Speaker, that is why we...
Madam, the people voted for us. Who voted for you?
the motion having been read. as
Madam Speaker, the
proposed-
leader has not completed, not
Completed
proposing.
at this point in time.
Madam Speaker, no fair-minded person could say that the leader of the opposition was allowed to complete her motion. And we demand
Demand an announcement too from high end.
given the opportunity in this parliament to read her motion.
Honourable members, Section 36, 1B of the Constitution states, the motion states with full particulars the grounds on which his removal from office is proposed and is signed by not less than 1/3 of the total membership of the House of Representatives. Therefore, in order to move to the next stage, this motion requires not
Madam
less than
Speaker,
1/3.
the leader of opposition has not completed the reading of her motion.
Therefore, in order to move to the next
Madam
stage,
Speaker, in order to move to the next stage, the leader of opposition must complete reading her motion.
and member for St. Augustine, I will not continue to tolerate this. We are moving on to the next stage.
But
Madam Speaker, I don't want to continue to tolerate the leader not being allowed. There is a procedure that includes the member reading the motion. The reading of the motion, and whoever cutting off the mic, preventing the voices of elected people from being heard. Madam Speaker, the procedure requires the leader of opposition, the member who brought the motion, to read the motion before the next stage is taken. The leader of opposition clearly has not completed the reading of her motion. And in order for the voice of the people to be heard, the leader must complete the reading of her motion. For anything otherwise to happen, it is a suppression of democracy and a prevention of the voice of the people from being heard.
Honourable members, in accordance with the guidelines which have been established, we shall proceed.
Madam Speaker, your own guidelines indicate that in the procedure, the member shall read the motion and then we go to the next stage. The leader of opposition has not completed the reading of the motion. So I am asking you to allow the motion to be read in accordance with your own guidelines before we proceed further.
The motion having been read as proposed.
Madam Speaker, I raised an issue earlier which you did not address. I pointed you to May's parliamentary practice, which provide guidelines for substantive motion, and I want to refer you to page 396. Your guidelines is not in harmony with what is provided here with respect to substantive motion. And I'm asking you, can you kindly respond if it is that we are still guided by these parliamentary practice, or you unilaterally will decide how this...
Member for Couva North, my guidelines are in accordance with the Constitution and the Electoral College regulations.
But it's illegal.
Member, I
It's
have rules.
unconstitutional.
I'm not taking conversation from you sitting. Therefore, in order to move to the next stage, this motion requires not less than 1/3 of the total membership of the House of Representatives. The clerk will now call the names of the members who signed the motion. Clerk?
Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SC, Leader of the Opposition and Member for Siparia.
What motion? We didn't hear the full motion.
Mr.
What
Saddam
motion?
Hussain,
What
MP.
motion? We did not hear the full motion by the member for Siparia.
We heard a
Member for Siparia.
What am
Member for
I?
Barataria Samu.
Madam, I say no to this entire illegal process.
Mr. Arnold Ram, MP. Member for
I did
Caroni
not get a
Central.
chance to respond.
Mr. Dinesh Rambali,
I support
MP.
the motion.
Member for Shagonas West. Mr. Ravi Rataram, MP. Member for Kuba North.
What are you
Mr.
asking?
Embarrassing MP. Member for Kuba South.
Madam Speaker, I support the motion and I disagree very strongly with the no debate guidelines in this House.
Dr. Rai Ragbir, MP.
I support the motion and I disagree with the no debate guidelines. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, we are yet to hear the full motion.
What it is you call on?
What
did you call?
Member for
This is-
Hyderabad.
I support the
Mr.
motion, but I
Rodney
disagree with the no
MP,
debate
Member for
guidelines.
Naparima.
I
Dr. Rudolph
fundamentally
Rivera.
disagree with the no debate guidelines, but I confirm my support for the motion.
Dr. Rudal Munilal, MP. Member for Hurapuchi East. Mr. Narendra MP.
This is a suppression
Member
of
for Hurapuchi
democracy.
West. Dr. Rashad Sicharan, MP. Member for Caroni East.
Madam Speaker, I
Dana
support this
Mohit,
motion, but I
MP.
disagree with the no debate guidelines.
Member for Shagonas. Dr. David Lee. Mr. David
Madam
Lee,
Speaker, I
MP.
support this motion, but I do not agree with this no debate
Member
motion.
for Point of Pierre. Mr. Barry Padarat, MP. Member for Princess Town. Mr.
Madam-
Michelle Benjamin.
And have done the bidding of the PNM in this house today.
Madam Speaker, may the record reflect that I support this motion, but this is a debt to our democracy, what you are doing here at this point in time.
Mr. Michelle.
Madam Speaker, I was also not allowed the opportunity to comment,
Ms.
although my
Michelle
name was...
Benjamin, MP. Member for
I think that is a breach of parliamentary process.
motion, but I disagree with the process.
Mr. Khadija Amin.
Madam Speaker, my name was called out, but I was not allowed the opportunity to speak, to comment. I think that is a breach of process. Just for the record, Madam Speaker,
Ms.
I
Khadija Amin, MP.
I completely
Madam-
support the leader's presentation and the
Madam
leader's
Speaker,
motion.
I stand firm against
abuse
the
of process.
suppression of democracy. I want the opportunity to be debate and be the voice of the people who elected me.
Ms. Anita Haynes, MP. Member for Tabaki.
I confirm my
Mr.
signature
Rushdan
and
Pare,
we
MP.
deserve the right to debate in this house, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, could we have some decency in terms of how this process is being conducted this morning? Madam Speaker, this House has been hijacked. Why are we seeking, you are seeking confirmation of members, and we process it like if we are 100 meters race now?
Madam Speaker, I did not even... I confirm my signature.
Member for Shagonas East, could you kindly keep a seat, take a seat? Your name was called, you confirmed your signature. Honorable members, Section 36(1)(c) of the Constitution states, C, the motion is adopted by the vote of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the Senate and the House of
Madam
Representatives.
Speaker, we again
assembled
register
together.
our protest at the travesty of the parliamentary democracy.
Honorable members,
Madam
the Senate
Speaker,
and
the leak in the
House-
Red House has apparently...
Honorable members, the Senate and the House of Representatives assembled together is a unicameral body called the Electoral College. Once the required majority, 2/3 vote is obtained from the Electoral College.
Madam
The
Speaker, can you
Constitution-
what they are going to vote on? The motion has not been completely read by the Leader of Opposition and the member for Superior.
Member for St. Augustine, we are continuing with the procedure. You seem to have forgotten that you stand when you are recognized. And remember, you were the one complaining about the mics. I hear you very well. There is no
Because
need...
I'm overriding the system, Madam
There is
Speaker.
no need to shout. There is no need to shout. There's no system to be overridden. We are hearing you very well. Once the required majority...
Electoral College as well. So would this be read out before the Electoral College as well? Just for clarity.
Once the required majority, 2/3 vote is obtained from the Electoral College, the Constitution states that D, a tribunal consisting of the Chief Justice and 4 other judges appointed by him, being as far as practicable the most senior judges, investigate the complaint and report on the facts to the House of Representatives. Thereafter, the Constitution states that the Electoral College...
Madam Speaker,
on the
could
summons
you
of the
clarify,
Speaker-
based on the inquiry of the member for Orpuch East, whether the member for Superior